Okay, hello everybody, welcome to this class. This is a speaking class. My name is Amy, and today our topic is, let's talk about my greatest teachers in life. So it's going to be an interesting class today. I just want to point out that this is not just about the traditional sense of the word teacher. So it's not like I'm going to want you to go, Amy, you're the greatest teacher I've ever had in life. It may not even be a person. It may be a thing, it may be a concept, it may be an experience. I want you to have a little think about that while we say good morning to the students and while I let you know about just a couple of pages that can help you out with your experience on Verbling. So, let me just let you know about, first of all, my Facebook page, my Verbling Teacher Facebook page. You can go and check that out if you want to get in contact, to see what's going on in classes, to chat, to connect up with other students, and I occasionally do post some things that I find there during the course of my week teaching that can help you out. So the other page is my Verbling Teacher page, and this is where you can find a little bit more factual information about Verbling. So you can see upcoming classes. If you click on the blue follow button for any of the teachers, you'll be automatically notified of their classes when they're coming up, which is quite handy. You can write me a message, or you can come along and take a look at my calendar. You might be interested in having some private tutoring sessions where you can really focus on something specific to your English and improve with me in a one-on-one session. So do go and check both of those pages out when you have a spare moment. As I said before, this is a speaking class this morning for me, or this evening possibly for you. We're going to be talking about teachers. Who are they? What are they, perhaps? And how have they impacted your life? I think that we've all had, I guess, one teacher maybe from our childhood that we'll never forget for some reason, but it might not even be a person. It may be an experience, a concept, an idea, something that's happened in your life that somehow taught you something. So it's going to be an interesting class, I think. I think this topic is different for everybody, and we're going to share our ideas about it and share our experiences. So who do we have in this class today to talk about it with us? We will say hello from back to front, I think, today. We'll start off with Savio. Hello, Savio.
Hi teacher, how are you?
Good, thank you. It's lovely to meet you. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, it's correct. My name is Savio. Savio.
Okay. Savio. Where are you from?
Okay, I'm from Brazil. I'm Brazilian.
Excellent. And whereabouts in Brazil? Which part?
I live in the south part. I live in São Paulo city, in the
Okay.
capital.
All right.
However, I have to travel in different place in Brazil because about my work needed to do.
All right. So you get to travel around the country a bit.
Yes, of course.
How do you travel? Do you fly? Do you drive?
Yes, I have traveled by car, by airplane. I have traveled in the south, in the south places and the north places too. And but just for work, it's rarely moments I enjoy to travel for fun, just
Good.
working, no
Yeah,
more.
absolutely. All right. Well, that's a nice thing to have as part of your job, traveling. Yeah. Well done. It's great to meet you, Savio, and thank you for explaining
Okay,
that to
thank
us.
you very much.
All right. Let's say hi to Raphael again. Hey.
Hi, teacher.
Okay, so we've got two Raphaels here. Let me
Oh,
clarify again.
sorry.
Raphael from, let me think, I can almost remember this. It's something like Puerto, but that's Spanish, I know. Can you remind me? Raphael, which city are you from?
Rio.
You are from Rio. The other Rafael?
South of Brazil, Rio Grande do Sul.
Okay. And for some reason I thought your city was called like Puerto or something. Did I remember that
Yeah,
really
I had
wrong?
another class with you, teacher.
Yes, that's right, because we have two Raphaels. All right. Okay, so, well, both of you, hello and welcome.
Hello.
Nice to see you again. And just have a think, guys, about teachers for a moment while we say hi to everybody else. We'll say hello to Mikael.
Hello, Ami. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Very well, thanks. I think
Excellent. Good to see you
it is
again.
my second class with you, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. Who else do we have? Ivan. Hi again.
Hi, teacher.
How are you feeling? Have you got some interesting things to say in this class about teachers?
Good.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to hearing them in a few minutes. Who else do we have here? Gustavo.
Hi, Amy. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Have I met you before, Gustavo?
Maybe one or two class.
All right, a while ago,
I think.
hey? It might have been a
Yes,
while ago. How are you
because
doing?
very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing great, thanks. Nice to see you back. How is
Nice to see you too.
studying? How is studying going?
Okay.
Is your studying going okay?
Sorry, I don't heard.
You didn't hear me. How is your studying going? Is your English studying going okay?
Yes, I think so. This is my second or third month in Berlin. So well, I am progressing, but I need to have patience.
Passion, definitely.
Passion. Yes.
To keep going. Perseverance, perhaps, as well.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
All right. Well, welcome back, Gustavo. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
David, hello.
It's a pleasure again, Amy.
Always a pleasure, David. Have you got any teachers that spring to mind when I say your life's greatest teachers?
I don't understand what you say.
When you see the topic of today's class, which is my life's greatest teachers, is there something that straight away comes into your mind that springs to mind? Like, wow, that teacher I had when I was 5 or something? Not really?
No, not really.
That's no problem. Just curiosity. But welcome to the class. We'll be talking about it more in a moment. Welcome back to Cacao.
Thank you, teacher.
Good to have you back. You participated so fully in my last class. It was great having you. So great to have you again.
Thank you.
All right. And who else? Anton.
I'm glad to see you again.
Thank you. That's good to know, Cacao. Okay. Who else do we have? Anton.
Hello, teacher. How do you do?
Hello. Good. Your picture's like black. Have you got a picture? Or is it just a picture of a black box?
No, I'm seeing my normal
Video?
picture. Yeah.
Really?
Everybody's looking a black picture.
I have no idea. Maybe it's just me.
Yes, it's black.
It's black. Seems to be black. But that's all right. You can be the dark, mysterious one of the class, Anton.
No, I don't know.
All
Can
right,
you see me now?
Ah, there you go. Now I can see you. Yeah.
Hello.
All right, that's better. I just like to see faces. It's easier for me to talk to than if it's just a black box. I feel like I'm talking to space or something. Okay. So Caesar just asked. Caesar, I think the problem is that this class is actually full. So if you want to get a slot in a class particularly, the best thing to do is to book it in advance. You can book a slot in a class as soon as it comes out. So do that if you want to get in. Otherwise, just join us by viewing, and you can still share your opinions in the chat box if you'd like to. So let's get started, guys, on our topic for today. Put a quote in the class description because I really liked this. I was reading stuff on the internet, researching, thinking, what shall I do for my speaking class this week? And it occurred to me that all of us have had or must have had some really good teachers in life, but it never occurred to me that teachers could actually be something other than a person. So this quote really stuck in my mind, and I've pasted it there into the chat box. The quote is, "My greatest teachers have been silence and stillness." So, I want to start off the class by not talking about people, but by talking about those things that you maybe would consider in your life a teacher that is not a person. So it can be anything. It might be like this is silence and stillness, I guess, a concept. It might be an experience. I've certainly had experiences in my life that have been teachers. So have a think about that for a second, and I'm going to ask you guys individually to tell us about something in your life that's been a teacher to you that is not a person. And we'll get back to the people later. So who am I going to ask first? Who am I going to pick on? Does anyone have anything ready in their minds to talk about? And I'll get you to start.
Yeah.
All right, go for it, Anton. Tell us, what's been a teacher in your life?
Yeah. It's a typical saying, only 3 words. Never give up. It's more than 3 words for me. When I referring to my personal working experience, I'm 42. I was working since 1994, maybe, and I was working in a good position in Spain, were a good environment of working, and a good salary, good earnings, and yeah, it was enough for me to understand there was the moment to start my own business. And in 2004, I decided to become a self-employee and start my own business. I was I obtained a big success with a big company. To be the owner is great in this situation. But I am engineer related with construction, and in 2009 my company started to be in bankrupt because nobody pays for our work, and so this is a harmful spiral.
Yep.
Because you can't afford your payment. And it's difficult to understand in your mind why this thing happens. You try to find your mind who is to blame. You think bad things about politicians. Some days I try to understand it was my fault. I have to reflect. And crisis is not only a economical noun. It's also a personal noun sometimes. And crisis is the starting of the change. And the restarting of your life if you want. So never give up are 3 important words. And this is my real learning lesson. No, it's not a person. It was a difficult situation. Now I starting my dream to become a teacher. I just finished my master in education. I was studying like a child. Yeah, and 1 year ago I was starting my B1 level in English. and now I just have the B2, and I'm preparing for develop and be better at English. And yeah, this is my personal experience and my personal reflection about something that could teach something in your life. And I think another important lesson for me is the most important thing in your life is your family. Yeah.
All right. I'm just making a note of that. Thank you, Anton. That was a really great introduction. I just want to point out that those of you who haven't been to one of my speaking classes before, usually the way I work is that I try to let you talk as much as possible. I tend to get a little bit carried away with talking. So what I will do is I will type things in the chat box while you're speaking. Sometimes they're corrections, and sometimes they're just things that I would like to note down for the rest of the class, the great things to remember or something. So once you finish speaking, do take a look at the chat box and have a look and see what I've said. But Anton, thank you. Really, really great introduction. And I love the idea that the never give up, 3 simple words have been such an important teacher in your lives, and I'm sure you're not the only one. So thanks. All right, I'm going to ask now, Gustavo, can you tell us about something that's been a teacher for you?
Well, I remember maybe in my university, I had one teacher that he was very exigent, very hard, very strict. It's okay, expression.
Yep, strict. Yeah.
And so all in the class hate this teacher because he gave us a lot of homework and a lot of something to do in our house, and he every week give us exam, and so he was very strict. But at the end at the end of the university, I only remember this teacher, and maybe I hate in the university, but his advice and his teach for me right now are very useful, are very important for my work, and I remember this person for that.
All right. Great, Gustavo. I think that this must be an experience a lot of us have had. A teacher that we think is a total pain in the neck when we're actually their students, but afterwards we realize actually I probably learned the most from that person out of all of the teachers I had. So great. However, Gustavo, what I did want you to talk about was something rather than someone. Is there anything in your life that has been a teacher for you? So like Anton was talking about that phrase, never give up. Is there any object, any experience, any group of words?
Yes, the 2 words that we wrote recently in the chat, patience and perseverance.
Okay.
I think that these 2 words for me resume importance to be constant in every work or every study that you need to do.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
All right, let's see who else we're going to ask. Let's ask David. Tell us about something, David, something that has been a teacher in your life.
Okay, for me, I think read the Bible was a great experience. I mean, it's a great experience because when I read the Bible, I can understand things that maybe I don't understand normally. I can understand words like be humble, yeah, like be arrogant,
Yep.
Yeah, things like that.
Yep.
I think teach me how to be a better person with my family
Mhm.
and my friends and the other people that I know. Yeah, I
All
think
right.
the book is good for was a good teacher for me.
Oh, right, definitely. I'm sure what the Bible must be one of the most influential books of all time. But it's interesting that you bring up the idea of a book being a teacher. And that's certainly something I've experienced as well. I wonder if anyone else has had the same experience. Thanks for sharing that, David. Let's ask Kako. Are you there?
Yes, teacher.
All right, tell us. What has been a teacher for you?
I have had excellent teachers that was remarkable in my life.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when I was a child, I burned myself in an accident with fire, and then I couldn't attend the classes for 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
That I was maintained at home.
Yeah.
In the process of curing myself, and then when I returned to the class, I remember that my teacher took my notebook and copied all the matters for me on my notebook.
Really?
Yes, I consider that as a very kind, a very careful, a very attention, she was very attentive with me, and it was remarkable on my life. When I was in the high school, I have another teacher that marked very much my life because he always gave us um, any kind of message. For example, one of his messages was to plant or seed is an act of love, and to keep and take care of the plants that other grows is an act of hope for better days.
Wow, and you still remember that?
Yeah, he was very a very important teacher in my life, and when I was making my post graduation, my master in sciences, I have a teacher that helped me very much in the work of the dissertation. That was not only a teacher but a friend for all my life. Yeah, and recently I make mine the words of Gustavo about the teachers of Verblin that I consider to They are all of you are very professional, competent people, attentive, polite with all of us, always encouraging us to advance, to go ahead in our learning of languages.
Well, that's great to know, Cacau.
I congratulate you and all of the teachers of Verbling for that.
All right, thank you. Thank you. I congratulate. I congratulate.
I congratulate.
That's what you meant, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Cacau. Thank you for sharing. Who else are we going to ask? We're going to ask Savio.
Okay. Teacher, in my point of view, I believe that every teachers in your life contributed for everything that you have nowadays. So, for example, when I was a little child, when I was studying in primary school, I had a teacher that she tried to learn me. She was a very angry and straight. Sometimes she punished me for memorizing the multiplication tables. Yes, I remember that this kind of homework was very difficult for me to memorize. I think that every a little child was or no a little difficult. For me was very difficult. So however, I believe that action was very important for my life today because she contributed very much for me because now, for example, now I became an electric engineer and the math is my life every day.
And it all began with that lady who made you learn your multiplication tables.
Okay.
Thanks, Savio. And we sometimes call them times tables as well. Your times tables, because when you multiply something, we sometimes say times. So 3 times 2 is 6, or 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. But multiplied is such a word in English. If you see the word times tables, it's referring to multiplication tables. But yes, I remember learning mine, and I really hated it. So thank you, Savio. Savio, is there anything other than a person? Is there something in your life that has been a teacher as well? Like, for example, as well as people, because teachers are often people, right? That's the traditional sense of the word. However, Anton spoke about those 3 words, never give up. I think it was Gustavo who mentioned the 2 words, passion and perseverance. So, and then also another, I can't remember who it was now, reading the Bible. So books, something, an experience or a concept or a quote, something that has been a teacher in your life. Is there anything?
Do you believe that the word for me that summarizes all is contribution?
Contribution.
Contribution. Every teachers contributed for us.
Contribute. Yeah.
Until the bad teachers, until the angry teacher, I think the contributor about the kind of the contribution about in your when you are in your work, you have to relation in different people with different with different personality. and I believe that teachers that teach you in the form sometimes angry, sometimes straight, contributed for you to become a good professional that you are.
All right, I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Xavier. So it's a bit of a tricky word. The noun there is contribution, and the verb is either to contribute or you can say to contribute. You can choose the emphasis.
Contribute.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's ask Mikkel. Mikkel, is there something in your life that has been a good teacher?
Yes, I have a lot of remembers of when I was a child, very child, and after in the high school, and my master, and the last in Berlin for me is my congratulations. I agree with Caco's description. He's very professional, old teacher, I think, and classmate very polite. I think very happy to discover it. For me, in my case, it's helping a lot to improve my English. I need to improve my English. It's helping a lot. But special remember, a lot of remembers. I focus in when you have a teacher, it's a very professional, but not the teach you, the explain, the Chevy explain the point of view or technical skills, but it's a passion, it's a fair passion. I need, in your job is very important to do with passion. I think it's important. I remember one some teacher because I remember the passion we explain any matter, any item in class. It's important. I especially remember in oh, sorry teacher, the very hard for me is to express.
You're doing great, Mikkel. Keep going.
I trying to tell the more important is when you know you perceive the passion with the teacher explain any matter is important. I would remember in my last master I do, especially some teachers is more recently special passion. I like. I would remember. In this case, in Berlin, for me, all teacher is very professional. Yes, I don't. I like. No, it's the word. It's for me. It's special. It's. I would remember. This my congratulations, all teacher, and start this business. This is nice.
All right. Thank you. Caco's written a comment for you in the chat box, Mikkel. Have a look. I have to agree with you about this passion point that you brought up. I think all of the teachers that I remember, all of them, the ones that I remember, were passionate about their subject. I think it's infective. It's like if your teacher is really excited about it, you can't help yourself but also be excited about it. And if they're bored, you're bored. So it's so important. I have to agree with you 100%, Mikkel. Thank you. Let's ask Raphael from Rio to tell us. What's something, Raphael, that's been a teacher for you?
Well, it's hard to, at least for me, it's hard to choose a single teacher who was important in my life, in my period of studying. But I'd like to say about the job experience. I had I had to. My family couldn't afford to pay my studies, so I had to join the Navy in order to pay for my studies, my university and other courses I had to attend. But and it was a difficult situation. It was difficult times because I had to work a lot, and there were so many hours of study. Sorry, so many hours of work, and during the day.
Yeah.
I studied during the day and sorry, I worked during the day and I had to study at night. So I only have three or 4 hours average for sleeping during the night. So it's really, how can I say, exhausting.
Yeah.
And but nowadays I see this period as a good experience, as a helpful experience because I've learned to give more value to things, to achievements. So to my achievements and see that and to discover what really matters to me, to my life and my experience as a person. Have became more mature since then.
Yep.
And it was important to me. So all that experience in the end was profitable for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I consider this as a teaching experience.
Absolutely. What do you think, if you had to think about it, Raphael, what about that experience made it so valuable for you? What particularly about it? Why? Why do you think it was was it the fact that you had to
Because since I have to, since my family weren't able to give me the material things, material earnings.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I had to go after my objectives, to pursue my professional success,
Mm-hmm.
in order to see how things really go, to see how to face the reality, to face the truth of the working conditions and gather all this experience. Not only for me, I have lots of friends who in my job that they have taught me a lot of things, valuable things about life, about confidence, about professional experience, life experience. Several people say it's better to learn with others' mistakes. So I have learned lots of things, not only good things but also bad things, and they have taught me a lot about it. So it was great for me. As I told you, I learned a lot with them.
Mm-hmm. All right. Great. Thank you, Raphael. I'm sure that for me, I think experiences such as that, I didn't have to join the Navy, but I had a similar type experiences, and they've done the exact same for me. So I'm really grateful for those. What seemed at the time to be a total pain and like, oh, if only I didn't have to do this, turned out to be like some of the best things that have happened in my whole life. So, yeah, I agree. All right, who else are we going to ask here? I'm going to ask the other Raphael.
Okay. Well, I think that one of the most important thing that occurred in my life was the military services.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a very good teacher for you. Everybody who you a change experience, and at the first time it looks crazy, but it's very good to you get discipline, to you get team spirits,
Yep.
and you make friends, and you learn that the life depends to each other, and you learn about a lot of things, good things and bad things, but it depends that the way that you have been thinking about.
All right. So tell me just a bit more about it. In Brazil, do you have to do military service, or was it a choice?
No, it's not a choice. You have to do. When you get 18, you need to sign up. I don't know.
Yep.
But it depends if you can free or not. You can get the military service, but it's not a choice. You need to sign up.
Okay. And how long do you have to do it for?
Well, I am 37 years old, and it was in 1995 until 2001.
So you had to do 6 years?
4 years.
4 years.
4
okay.
years.
So does everybody have to do 4 years?
No. You need to stay 1 year, and so you can choose if you want to longer your stay or.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So the minimum is 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The minimum is 1 year.
Okay. All right. And how do you think? If you maybe just think back to when you were 18, did you want to do this, or did you think, oh no, I have to do my military service?
I was looking for a job, and so in that time I couldn't to make choice, and I think that it could be a bad time, but actually it was a very good time for me.
In hindsight, it was a very good time. Do you know what I mean by hindsight?
Yeah, in hindsight.
So like looking back. So now that you're further on in your life, if you look back and see what you did, we usually say in hindsight. Yeah. So all right, that's really interesting. I'm sure that that other guys from countries where military service is imposed upon you when you're 18 have had the same experience. I think I've heard a lot of people say that they didn't really like the idea of it, but it turned out to be really helpful. Let's ask Ivan. Ivan, tell us about something that's been a teacher for you in your life. Are you able to talk to us? I see you've been in and out of class a bit. You might be having connection problems. Are you there? No? Oh, that's a shame. All right, I'll come back to you in a moment, Ivan. And who else have I not asked? David, have I spoken to you?
Yeah, teacher. I talk about the Bible.
That's right. You were the one who talked about the Bible. I couldn't remember. All right, I'm going to ask Caesar then, because Caesar just joined us. Caesar, have you been listening to what we've been talking about?
What? I don't understand what you sent me.
Ah, Caesar, have you been listening to us? I know that you've only just joined the class a few moments ago, but were you listening beforehand?
Yes.
All right, so great. So what I wanted to ask you, Caesar, is can you tell us about something, or perhaps somebody, if you like, that has been a really great teacher in your life?
In my life, And there was two teachers that was so good teachers. Both of them was from the university.
Yeah.
The one of them was so crazy, and that is so funny, and that is the reason, and he was so intelligent and so prepared, and that is the reason that he was so good. And the another one has is is really prepared too, and she was so organized. So that are the reasons that I think that they was good teachers, because they not just teach to you, they 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 are able to that was interesting and funny for you.
All right. Yeah, definitely. So it's the whole class, right? Not the whole experience. That was their strength as teachers, maybe.
Yes.
All right.
I never have a so bad experience, so I can't tell a lot of bad experience.
Great. Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
Is there anything apart from people? Because a few of us have mentioned things. So Raphael, for example, talked about his experience. Both of the Raphaels talked about an experience, one in the Navy, one in military service. At the beginning of class, Anton talked about his experience with his business. Is there some kind of experience, or are there some kind of a motto, or I don't know, something rather than a person that has been a teacher in your life?
Not really. Yes, my mother isn't a teacher. That it could be, for example, they teach to me, but like my mother, not like my teacher. To be strong at the bad situations, and to be you just have to be happy, and that is so important.
All right.
And she was not only teach to me, she can explain with examples to me, because their life was not so good, and of some of my families that was not so good. So I can see that, and I can saw that, and I can understand how is to be strong.
All right, thank you, Cesar. That brings me on to very wonderfully onto my next question for you guys. We've got 10 more minutes of the class, and what I would like to do is sort of like work together for a few moments. I'd like you to answer the question. What is let's just choose one. So what is the most important quality that a teacher should have in order to be a great teacher? What is the most important quality? So is it their personality? Is it patience? Is it, I don't know, enthusiasm, passion? What do you think is the most important thing that a teacher needs to have in order to be a good teacher? That's my first question for you. So let's go through. I'm just going to ask everybody what they think, and we're going to make a list. So, Gustavo, what do you think is the most important?
I am thinking. I think that maybe didactic is okay. The word didactic.
Didactic is an adjective. So what do you mean? What do you mean? Can you explain it? And I might come up with a word for you.
A person who can explain very well, and the person can adapt to every student, sorry, and can explain a complicated situation with simple word. I don't know how.
All right.
Say.
You're doing great, Gustavo. It's hard to put all of that into one word, isn't it? So yeah, okay, didactic. Really, didactic just doesn't have the oomph about it that you're trying to convey. I think it's okay. Maybe ability to I don't know. Let's put ability to explain something. I know exactly what you mean. I'm going to have a think about that while I ask the others. If any of you would like to type anything else in the box.
I think that maybe this word is not the most properly, but I don't know another word that
I'm
to
trying to think
explain.
of one myself. Yeah, it's a really important concept. So the ability to explain something clearly that's difficult. That's definitely, I think, a gift. Not all teachers have that. Agreed. Thank you, Gustavo. What about David? What do you think?
For me, maybe two important abilities that a teacher may have is encourage all the time for improve the abilities, for improve the students, like cheerly all the time.
Yep.
And other one is always have trustfully in the potential of the students. For example, if the students doesn't have maybe a good ability, have trust in the potential and encourage or achieve their goals.
Great, I love it. Okay, I'm going to put see the student's potential and encouraging. Is that okay? Thank you, David. All right, Caesar. What's the most important thing about a teacher that a teacher needs to have? What skill, what quality? You there?
Hi.
Hi. I couldn't hear you then. Did you start speaking with your microphone off? What do you think, Caesar? What's the most important quality a teacher needs to have?
I think is to know how the students can understand, how the student can learn, and to want to learn. There are two things that you have to do, that you have to be able to do to being a teacher.
Okay, so one of them is similar to what Gustavo was saying, the ability to explain, be able to explain something.
Yes, the ability to explain, and for example, if you are explaining something that good, but the people don't like it, they can understand, but they don't like it. It's to you have to the student have to like it.
All right. So maybe enthusiasm as well?
How is the verb? How is the adjective?
Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means that you feel energetic and joyful about what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah?
It is.
All right. Great. Thank you, Caesar. What about Kako? What do you think? Don't forget to unmute yourself.
Teacher, I think that first of all, teachers have to have knowledge of the subject to be treated on classes.
Good point.
Yeah, and to transmit that knowledge, they have to have a good didactics.
Mm-hmm.
The willing or the disposition of learning more about the matters, and the capacity of encouraging people to learn more.
Great.
I think that those four principal characteristics are the principal: knowledge, didactics, willing of learning, capacity of encouraging people to learn.
Thank you, Cacau. Beautifully put. Thank you. All right, let's go to Savio. Savio, what do you think?
So, I totally agreed with my friends that to be a great professional teachers have to be ability to explain clearly. For instance, when I was in my university, I had excellent researchers, but these researchers weren't good teachers, because that know for just them, no for teacher. That teacher did not to explain. But however, they were a good researchers. I believe that they know to learn for themselves, not for teachers. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I think good point, Savio. I've had that experience myself. We're going to have to finish, so I'm going to ask the rest of you quickly, just to give me, really briefly, what do you think a teacher should have? Raphael, tell me.
You mentioned passion, but in my opinion, passion is a light word, because passion is a feeling, is a passenger feeling. I think you must have love for the profession. You must have love for your tasks, your act of teaching, because at least here where I live, teachers they aren't well paid, so it's not a profitable career. So, and as other students already mentioned, you need to have patience. You need to have you need to know how to share your knowledge. You need to know how to direct or focalize what you are saying when you're what you're trying to teach, generally speaking, and yes, and it's important because it's not an easy task, because you're not only teaching, you are creating, you are raising students, you are raising people who become the future of society and mankind. So you have perhaps you have the most important duty in our society.
All right, I love it. Thank you, Raphael. I don't want to make you guys late for any other classes. So what I'm going to say is, if you haven't spoken yet, I'm sorry, Mikel, I didn't have time to ask you, and Ivan, I hope that you've managed to get your connection enough to hear what's going on. But do go ahead and type in your ideas on Facebook. There should be a class description there for this class, so go ahead and write your ideas down, guys. It's really great hearing from all of you. Some great speaking today. Don't forget to check the chat box for sorry, Raphael, that distracted me. I was going to say for your comments, or my comments, sorry, about what you've been speaking about. Raphael just wrote me a message in Maori, which is the native language of New Zealand. So thank you, Raphael. Have a great evening, guys, and I will see you next time, I hope. So take care, and yeah, ka kite anō. Bye.
Bye, Amy.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.